My 52-year-old sister and I took very different paths through life. She got married at 18, was a stay-at-home mom, and there's nothing wrong with that. She has a good life. I went to college for my MBA and didn't get married until I was 30 and had my only son at 31 thanks to IVF. I always wanted more children, but it was difficult for me to conceive. My sister's Instagram is filled with photos of her grandchildren. She had 6 kids and has 13 grandchildren and even 1 great-grandchild. We live about an hour away from each other, but I still send all her kids Christmas gifts. They love me as an aunt. Before I got married, my sister used to tease that I was the spinster aunt. Edit. She was not exactly being cruel. We did not know at that time that I would have trouble conceiving. I brought my son over to play with his cousins as often as I could. He just turned 22 and his wife is pregnant with their first baby. His wife has made it clear this pregnancy will be one and done. They just posted the first sonogram. My sister immediately posted that she couldn't wait until the baby was born and that she was going to insist that the baby call her grandma. This is my one and only chance to be a grandmother, and I can't believe my sister is behaving this way. I got angry and called her to let her know there was no way my grandchild was going to call her grandma. Her grandkids don't call me grandma, they call me auntie. She cried and said everyone calls her grandma, and she hung up on me. My son just called me and told me I am making a big deal out of nothing, and that if his aunt wants to be called grandma, that will be fine. He pointed out that his wife's mother will also be called grandma, so it is okay to have more than one. I am very confused. This seems like a hill to die on. But is it? Update. I spoke with my son and daughter-in-law, as many of you here suggested. As it turns out, it is not necessarily my sister that he is very close to, but one of my sister's sons. They bonded over the 2 summers that my son spent with them, and my son considers this cousin his brother. I knew they were close, but was not aware that they were that close. My son says that this cousin saved his life, but refuses to go into specifics. Apparently, this cousin asked my son to allow my sister to move in with him. Her youngest child just turned 18 and married and moved out, and her children are worried about her living alone. He suggested that my sister could be a live-in nanny for the baby when it comes, and a homeschooling teacher as she grows. My son says he owes his life to his cousin, and so he has agreed to this. It was all set up a month ago, so my sister knew this before the sonogram post, but everyone was told not to tell me. My sister posting, "Hello, sweet baby, I'm your grandma, can't wait to meet you," was, I think, her way of telling me anyway. My son lives several states away from me. Now my sister will be living in the same house as him as my grandchild's grandma. This worries me because my sister's history with raising children so far involves none of them graduating high school, 4 of them having children before the age of 19, and 1 of them heavily involved in drugs. Most of this happened after my son stayed with them. Otherwise, I would never have let him go. She was a very permissive parent and allowed her children to go wherever they wanted and do whatever they wanted, no questions asked. I mentioned her having a great-grandchild already. This is because her oldest son, at 14 years old, had a 17-year-old girlfriend who was allowed to spend nights and weekends with him in his bed. I know I said she had a good life, but I am angry now, and these thoughts are coming up. I don't know what to do. My conversation with my daughter-in-law and son did not end well, and there is no way of changing their mind about this. Any advice would be welcome. At this point, I am just trying to accept that I will probably never be a part of this child's life. Edit 2. For everyone wondering, this is the sequence of events to the best of my recollection. 1992, sister's oldest son born 1994, sister's second kid born 1996, sister's third kid born 1998, sister's 4th and 5th kids born twins. 5 is the one my son considers his brother 2001, my son born 2004, sister's 6th kid born 2005, sister's husband leaves but pays child support 2006. Oldest son has grandchild, girl, 1. He is 14 at the time, 2011. Oldest son has grandchild, girl, 2. He is 18, 2013. Kid 2 has grandchild, 3 and 4 twins. She is 20, 2014. My son stays with sister for the summer. He is 13, 2015. Oldest son has grandchild, boy, 5. He is 23. Kid 2 has grandchild, 6. She is 21. Kid 3 has grandchild, 7. He is barely 19, 2016. My son stays with sister again for the summer. He is 15. Kid 3 has grandchild, 8 and 9 with 2 different women. He is 20. Kid 5 has grandchild, 10. He is 18, 2017. Kid 5 has grandchild, 11. He is 19, 2020. Kid 6 has grandchild, 12. He is 16, 2022. Kid 1 has grandchild, 13, 2024. Oldest granddaughter has sister's first great-grandchild. She is 17 now. For a few comments before the update. Comment 1, this would absolutely be my hill. Your sister is not this baby's grandmother. Your daughter-in-law's mom is also this baby's grandmother. I'm confused for you. Why would your own son take his aunt's side? Because what he is saying is, it's okay to call someone else mom. Would he like it if the baby called someone else dad? Probably not. Not the idiot. Your sister can chill the hell out. The spinster aunt thing? She was insulting you and being in butt. I'd make sure people know. Comment 2. I'm really trying to do the mental math in my head how someone could possibly be a great-grandmother at 49. Can you tell what ages your sisters, children, and grandchild were when they had their children? Now for the update. Thanks for tuning in again. So I had a chat with my son and his wife, like everyone said I should. It was a mess, honestly. I found out that my sister's moving in with them to be a live-in nanny for the baby. My son's super close to one of her kids, and he's the one who suggested it. They set it all up a month ago, but kept it from me. My sister's grandma post was her way of spilling the beans, I guess. I'm worried sick. My sister's parenting style was, let's say, relaxed. None of her kids finished high school, and they started having babies really young. My son spent 2 summers with them, and I had no idea things were that bad, or I wouldn't have let him go. Now she's going to be with my grandchild every day, and I'm states away. The talk with my son and his wife didn't go well. They're not budging, and I'm left feeling like I'll never be part of my grandchild's life. I'm trying to come to terms with it, but it's hard. Any advice would be great. Edit 2. Here's a timeline of my sister's family. Just to clear things up, 1992, her first kid's born. 1994, second kid. 1996, third. 1998, twins, one of whom is like a brother to my son. 2001, my son's born. 2004, her last kid. 2005, her husband leaves. 2006, her first grandkid's born. Her son's only 14. 2011, another grandkid. 2013, twins again, this time from her second kid. 2014, my son stays with them for the summer. 2015, more grandkids from the oldest and second. 2016, my son's there again for the summer. 2017, more babies, including from the twin my son's close to. 2020, her youngest has a kid at 16. 2022, another one from the oldest. 2024, her first great-grandkid, and she's only 17. Thanks for reading. My maid of honor stole my beloved cat and lied about it. So I kicked her out and made her allergic reaction the least of her worries. Okay, so some context is needed before I get into what happened. I, 37-year-old female, was adopted by my parents, 67-year-old female and 68-year-old male at age 5, after years of struggling to conceive and many miscarriages. My brother Adam came along when I was 8. Adam was my parents' miracle baby that they had given up on ever having. Mom's pregnancy was super difficult and high risk, but she pushed through it for the chance to finally have a biological child. Sadly, 3 years ago, we lost my brother in an accident at 26 years old. It was sudden, unexpected, and absolutely destroyed me and my family. During our time of grief, his fiancée, Diana, 30-year-old female, was a lifeline for us. She was grieving as well, but she helped us through those first terrible, unbearable several months, and I've struggled to find ways to repay her kindness and care ever since. We became friends when she started dating my brother over 10 years ago, and when I became engaged, it seemed only natural and obvious that I would choose her as my maid of honor. When I asked her to be my maid of honor a year ago, she said yes. 4 months later, in the midst of planning, she came to me and said she needed a place to stay for a while. I said, come on and make yourself at home. In the weeks before moving in, she asked about my cat, Polly, 9-year-old male, wanting to know if somebody could keep him, as she has a mild cat allergy. I said I couldn't, and she said she'd take Benadryl and deal with it. I thought that was it. But 2 weeks before Diana moved in, Polly disappeared. Diana helped me put up posters and check shelters, but we had no luck. Well, come to find out, Diana is the reason Polly was missing. She had used her key to my home to take him, but let me believe he slipped out and had a friend keep him for the 4 months that she ended up living in my home. I found this all out almost 2 weeks ago, and I pitched an absolute fit, threw her stuff out of my house before she could properly fully move out, kicked her out of my wedding, and told her in no uncertain terms to stay away from me for a while. I blocked her after the 3rd apology text because I was sick of seeing her name on my phone, then blocked her across all social medias. She even showed up at my work the other day, and I stayed in the back until she finally left. My parents, who adore her as an extension of my brother, want me to make up with her and let her stay in the wedding, but I don't see us coming close to even being civil before my wedding date. Adam helped me pick out Polly, and he's one of the few things I have left that connects me to my brother. I don't know what I'm going to do about the open maid of honor spot or anything yet, But I'm wondering if maybe I did go overboard. I don't think I did, but I could use some outside perspective. Am I the idiot? Edit. Thank you to everyone for your responses and support. Yes, I did get Polly back. I'm going to try and read the comments and answer any lingering questions if I can. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot 100%. What she did was disgraceful. She entered your house without permission. She kidnapped your beloved cat and broke your heart twice over while lying to you. Adam helped me pick out Polly, and he's one of the few things I have left that connects me to my brother. Keep her blocked and don't let her within 100 miles of your wedding. I wish you, yours, and Polly all the very best. Comment 2. Not the idiot at all. Holy shoot, is your family serious? She freaking kidnapped your cat. In my opinion, she should consider herself lucky that she isn't facing any legal consequences. I could never forgive someone who would make you believe your precious cat, who shares a connection with your brother, was missing for 4 months. Now for the update. Thanks for sticking around to hear more about this mess. So, after the whole ordeal with Diana and Polly, you'd think things would settle down, right? Wrong. My parents, bless their hearts, have been on my case about forgiving Diana. They keep saying things like, she's family, and Adam would have wanted you to make peace. It's like they're completely ignoring the fact that she betrayed me. I mean, she took my cat. Anyway, I tried to focus on the wedding plans to keep my mind off things. But then my mom dropped the news. She'd invited Diana to dinner, behind my back, to clear the air. I was furious. I felt like my own family was against me. I didn't go to that dinner, obviously. But the next day my mom called crying, saying Diana had a severe allergic reaction at their place because they'd used a cleaning product she was allergic to. They had to rush her to the hospital. I felt a twinge of guilt, I'll admit. But then I remembered Polly, and it hardened my resolve. I told my mom I hoped Diana would be okay, but that didn't change anything between us. My mom didn't take it well. She said I was being cold and that my brother would be disappointed in me. That hurt, but I couldn't just let Diana off the hook. In the midst of all this, my fiancé has been a rock. He's been supportive, but he's also been acting a bit strange. Distant, almost. I figured it was just stress from the wedding and everything else going on. But then 2 days ago, I came home early from work and found him on the phone, sounding upset. He hung up quickly when he saw me, but not before I heard him say, "She can't find out. Not now." My heart sank. I confronted him, and after a lot of denials, he finally admitted he'd been talking to Diana. He said she'd reached out to him, desperate to make amends, and he thought he could mediate. I couldn't believe it. My own fiancé going behind my back to talk to the woman who'd caused me so much pain. I felt betrayed all over again. We had a huge fight. I told him he had to choose her or me. He said that wasn't fair, that he was just trying to help. But I couldn't see it that way. Not after everything. We didn't talk for the rest of the night. The next morning he apologized. He said he'd cut off all contact with Diana and that he was on my side. I wanted to believe him, but something felt off. I decided to let it go for the sake of our relationship, but I can't shake the feeling that there's more he's not telling me. So here I am, wedding plans in shambles, my family divided, and trust in my fiancé shaken. I don't know what to do about the maid of honor spot. Part of me wants to just elope and leave all this drama behind. But then I think about the wedding I've been dreaming of, and I can't bring myself to give that up. Thanks for listening to my venting. It's been a rough few days. My sister's dog ruined my $1,000 sneakers, and she refused to pay. So I sold her favorite dress to cover the cost and watched her lose it. At the next family dinner, 27-year-old male, love sneakers. I collect a bunch. My favorite pair to wear right now are the Travis Scott Reverse Mocha Jordan 1 lows valued at over $1,000. I think they are about $1,500 now. Anyways, we had a family get-together, and we are an Asian household, so I take off my shoes and go upstairs, and we are having a good time celebrating my other sister's birthday. When my wife and I go to leave, I put my shoe on and notice that it's soaked and smells like piss. I come to realize that my older sister's dog pissed all over my shoe, granted somehow only one of them. I laughed in annoyance and said, "Well, now you gotta pay me back for these shoes he ruined." She said she would, but when I told her how much they cost, she immediately and angrily scowled back. "No, that's ridiculous. I am not giving you $1,000 when you could just clean the shoes." I said, "Okay, fine. Just pay me back half so I could go get them professionally cleaned or something. Compensation for your dog pissing on my shoes." She continued to refuse and started to say it was my fault for owning such expensive shoes. Then I got extremely upset because it's my money. I should be allowed to buy whatever I want, and these were shoes I saved up for. My mom offered to give me the $500, but I told my mom to keep it because it should come from my sister because it was her fault. Here's where I may have been a jerk. My sister did just have a baby, and I know how much of a financial burden babies are. However, she's refusing to take any blame now that she knows how expensive my shoes were. And honestly, that's what pisses me off more. So am I the jerk for asking my sister to pay me back for a pair of shoes her dog pissed on? Edit. I didn't explain things properly because of the heat or the moment. My mistake. A lot of people thought I wanted $500 to cover cleaning plus punitive damages. I initially said give me enough for a new pair. Then after arguing, I said give me half so I can buy a new pair. And finally at the end, I said, then cover the cleaning price. The way I worded the initial post for sure made it sound like I asked for a cleaning fee plus compensation. My mistake, and I apologize to everybody. Although things have been resolved, she called me to apologize for not taking responsibility, and I apologize for asking for her to just buy me a new pair initially. Plus, I knew she was pretty stressed out with the new baby. I should have been more understanding. She said she's gonna cover the cleaning fee. Now I just gotta find a pro shoe cleaner, and I apologize for being kinda a jerk. Also, I buy shoes to wear them. I know they're expensive, but shoes are meant to be worn, so I wouldn't buy shoes to just keep them in a trophy case unless they were signed or something. But hey, that might just be me. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Everyone sucks here. Why are you going around with $1,000 shoes and then not protecting them? By the way, when they're worn, they are not thrifty hundreds anymore. Your sister is the jerk for not being willing to pay for the cleaning. If I were her, I'd tell you to take the shoes to the cleaner and then bring the bill to be reimbursed. I doubt it will be $500. Comment 2. Not the jerk. Why do people say you're the jerk because you like nice shoes and didn't put them in a closet that's in somebody else's house? I'd get them cleaned, and if they can get back to a similar condition, then send her that bill. If they're totaled, then I'd make her make it up to me, especially since she's blaming you. Now for the update. Thanks for sticking around. So a lot has happened since the last post. After my sister agreed to cover the cleaning fee, I thought we were good. But turns out, finding a pro shoe cleaner who can handle a high-end sneaker soaked in dog pee is not as easy as it sounds. I finally found one, but they quoted me way more than expected. I called my sister and she flipped out, saying she wasn't going to pay that much and accused me of trying to scam her. I was fuming. It's not like I peed on my own shoes, but I let it slide because, well, family. I paid out of my own pocket and the shoes came back looking okay, but the smell never really went away. Every time I wore them, I remembered the whole mess. Then at the next family dinner, my cousin, who's always been jealous of my sneaker collection, started making snide remarks. He joked about how my piss shoes were probably worth more now because they had a unique scent. I lost it and told him off in front of everyone. My aunt, his mom, got involved, and it turned into a huge argument. She said I was too materialistic and that I should be more humble. I couldn't believe it. Here I was being shamed for being upset that my property got damaged. It felt like everyone was against me. I left the dinner early, and my wife was silent the whole ride home. She later told me she thought I overreacted and that I should apologize to keep the peace. But then the next day, my cousin posted a picture on social media wearing a pair of knockoff sneakers that looked like my Travis Scott's, captioned, "At least mine won't attract dogs." I saw red. I wanted to confront him, but my wife begged me not to. She said it wasn't worth it and that I should just ignore him. I didn't listen. I went to his place and we had it out. It got physical and I ended up with a black eye. My cousin threatened to press charges and my family was in an uproar. Everyone said I took it too far, but no one seemed to care about the constant digs at me. In the end, my cousin didn't press charges, but now there's this tension in the family. My wife is disappointed in me, and I'm starting to feel like maybe I am too obsessed with my sneakers. But then I look at my collection, and I can't help it. I worked hard for these. It's not just about the shoes, it's about what they represent. So I'm stuck. I feel like I'm the bad guy in my family's eyes, but I also feel wronged. I'm not sure where to go from here. I just know I'm not ready to give up my passion, even if it means more drama. Thanks for reading. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.